Hello, loves, and welcome to this message. I'm Erica. I am a psychic medium, oracle, and a prophetess. I just want to say welcome to the channel. This is a Pillar of Light channel, and if you are subscribed or if you were just guided here by your spirit guides and higher self, then you're definitely meant to be here. And this message today is obviously collective, so it's not going to be for everyone, but I guarantee that it will resonate for everyone who comes here on one level or the next, right? And so you've seen the title, so you already know like what I'm going to be tuning in with today. And the message like that I have that came through from the divine that they are guiding me to speak about and address is the Lightworker, Starseed, Earth Angel. Titles aside, you are a starlight who came here, okay, to Earth to help and to ascend and to transcend, right? And to break generational curses. So it's the Lightworker who was raised by narcissist parents or parent figures. Since birth, you have been around the empath narcissist paradigm, and like your ancestors, your spirit. I just saw 144. Yeah, I'm talking to the light warriors. Like, this is a message for the star souls. 144, like the 144,000, like people literally have it so wrong. Like if you see people out there saying like, oh, I'm a part of the 144,000, there's only 144,000 light workers, or oh, there's only 144,000 twin flames, or whatever it is, like, I don't know, to each their own. I am all about being a spiritual guide and a reflection, but like I very much encourage each and every one of you guys to always, like, don't take Erica's word for it or someone else's word for it. Don't just absorb it and take it in as your truth because someone else is saying that. If it resonates, then that's different, right? So tune in and see how it is for you. But anyways, the message is, you were raised by parents who were narcissistic or had narcissistic tendencies. For some of you guys, that kind of energy was very obvious, but for some of you guys, it wasn't very obvious, maybe until later in life, or when you got older and more aware. And basically, it just boils down to being raised by parents who were basically wounded children in adult bodies. And I know everyone's stories are different, right? Like some of you guys, like it's the I have to be careful what I say because the AI bots that control the algorithms and like, scan our content now, they flag you for like everything. So ABUSE, okay? Emotionally, verbally, physically, you know what I mean? And for a lot of you guys, it's all of it. And for some of you guys, it's emotional. And I'm hearing the word neglectful. Like you were neglected emotionally because your parents or parent, or maybe it was just like one of your parents specifically, whatever the case, they gaslit you and love bombed you, and then they would pull that away as forms of punishment, or there's something coming through about them being resentful. Like they were resentful to you, their own child, because they were jealous and resentful of the fact that you were growing up with parents that, were better than their own. Even though they're your parent, they resented you for the fact that you had the life they did not have. Okay. You know what I mean? Even though your life, it's like the curse wasn't broken with your parents, right? So you're the generational curse breaker. So so maybe your parents were like a better version of what they grew up with, but they still, like I said, were wounded children in an adult body. So they still projected it. The curse was not broken. So the curse still ran through your parents to you, onto you. Okay. Woo. All right. So I'm feeling called, like, specifically to dig into the why, because this is actually a pretty common thing with us light workers. Many light workers choose specifically to reincarnate into specific bloodlines, because these bloodlines are the reason why it's so important for these particular bloodlines. Well, it can be for different reasons, but the universe operates off of balance. Okay. Hold on. Let me find, where is my, what's the T? Hold on. The universe operates off of balance, right? Like, that's what the universe cares about. Hence the justice scales of karma. So you incarnated into bloodlines that had a ton of negative karma and imbalance, karmic imbalance, right? And not only that, but many of you guys, your bloodlines, both on the mother and father side, both bloodlines are very powerful bloodlines. Maybe like the mother line, the matriarch side, like maybe that is very different, but like powerful in, different ways. And maybe, or maybe it's like just one of the bloodlines is just needing an extreme amount of balancing and healing. You know what I mean? But either way, it doesn't matter. Like, that's why, right? So, or at least like, that's like the most obvious, like, you know what I mean? So you're the redeemer, and it's been like so hard for, and hidden, like when I mean hidden narcissism, I mean like where people do it very discreetly. They do it very discreetly. And that, when I tune in with that, because you guys know, well, like if you're new here, like I'm a psychic and I'm a medium. So my channels are very open. Like I commune with angels and ascended masters and ancestors and, loved ones on the other side. I do mediumship readings, but one of like my specialties, like I call them my specialties, is the Akashic records. So doing past life regression healings and reading sessions with clients and, for stuff like this, like to help you break stuff, to help you go directly to the source, to the wound, that was created by an ancestor or by you in whatever timeline or lifetime or whatever it is, right? Things like that, right? And like quantum healing sessions. But why was I going to talk about the quantum healing sessions? Okay, now I can't remember. So whatever. I'm not like saying it to like promote myself. There was a reason. So hopefully it'll circle back. Hello, Mercury retrograde. This Mercury retrograde, by the way, like it's like messing with people big time, right? And it could be like that where you just lose, typical, like you lose your train of thought or whatever, you get your words mixed up. This Mercury retrograde is more like things happening in the 3D, like in your like everyday life. Maybe you get into a fender bender or a car accident, or like someone or your water heater goes out in your house, or your dishwasher breaks, or your lawnmower, like things like that, but it's like very like 3D physical. It's just gnarly. So anyways, like just, you know, be cautious, you know what I mean? I mean, don't like feed that fear energy out, you know, but like just be aware. It's awareness is what I want to say. So anywho, okay, let's get back to this message about, okay, so you're like through your ascension, let's get a few cards here. Through your ascension, being the curse breaker, and not, okay, so like since we're all like connected energetically, right? When I heal me and my bloodlines, like I'm healing you too, right? And vice versa and stuff, right? So like you're not only like helping your own personal, like, you know, ancestry, bloodlines, whatever, you're also radiating that out and anchoring it in to the grid, to the earth, to the crystalline grids of earth. Like how I say this channel is a pillar of light, it's because a pillar of light, like divine pillar, what I mean is like it's a pillar that anchors in and it receives from above and anchors into below and then receives from below and going up, you know what I mean? I just saw 1111. So you're like those pillars of light, you know, you're the star points. That's what I call us, because we're all over the world, and you know, even like down to our location, the places we were born, our name, like we chose everything. We chose our mom, we chose our dad, everything, right? And so that's why as you like awaken, it can be coming, it can get confused, like it can get to that feeling of like, why on earth would I ever choose this? Why on earth would I ever put myself through what I put myself? Yeah, so a lot of you guys, you grew up in households where there was like maybe your parents, or again, maybe it wasn't your parents. Maybe you were raised by your aunt, uncle, or grandparents, whoever it was that raised you, basically. And the adults that were like primarily around you, like all the time, right? You were this little child empath, just absorbing everything like a sponge. And you started creating the armor from infancy for a lot of you guys. For some of you guys, that armor started, it's like the moment that, it's like the very first time that the baby feels through the mother, they feel the feelings of fear, or like this world is not safe. It comes from that, like the baby's first like moments, interactions with mother. And of course, even in utero, babies, they can hear everything and feel. So they aren't cognitive, like on a soul level, they're aware, but like their brain isn't, you know, it's not cognitive, like where they're like, oh, I can. It's more of that empathy, the feeling, the absorption, right? So for many of you guys, it started in utero. You know, maybe you were, you know, born into, you know, with a mom that was like not ready to be a mom and just was like, you know, didn't want to be a mom, and so therefore took it out on you, or resented you, or, you know, neglected you, or made fun of you, or talked bad to you, or whatever it is, or, you know, father too. I'm seeing a lot of like mother wounds here, especially for feminine, and then for a lot of men, I'm seeing a lot of the father wounds, but it could literally be both parents or vice versa. Okay. So you grew up in an environment that was hostile. It was energetically hostile, okay? And since I'm talking to very powerful empaths, you guys know what I mean by that. You are master alchemists of energy, and you're masters at tuning in to, you can read the room. You can read the room. I just saw 1414, 5-5. Everything's changing for you, by the way. Like, you have been feeling this building and building and building for some time, but you weren't ready. And now the time has finally come, literally, like where you're ready. And I'm not the first medium or psychic or reader to be in front of you, or sign or synchronicity that is telling you this. Oh, I forgot to say also, but it's probably in the title, or I pinned it in the comments, but this specific reading, this specific reading, I'm hearing like it's brought to you by, no, this specific reading is actually, so you're receiving a reading and confirmation and all that, but this reading is an activation of healing for mother-father wounds. So there's activations happening through this message. And I forgot to say that at the beginning, okay? But it's like it's brought to you by your spirit guides, your spirit team, your star family, okay? So it's not like my spirit guides are going over and working with you. It's your own spirit team, but that was a part of the message. And yeah, my spirit guides and spirit team are definitely here, but the activators and the ones bringing forth healing and that are surrounding and hugging this whole entire reading right now is Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, and Melchizedek. Okay, so there's 4 of them, 2 masculines and 2 feminines. But anyways, I had forgotten to say that. I just saw 555. Yeah, exactly. Let me pull a message just real fast on this, because I pointed out the 5, like the 1414. Why am I seeing the fives? Like, can we get a message around the 5s? Well, first of all, 5 is challenges, obstacles, change, challenges. So, and by the way, you guys, also for this reading, for the souls that are here, because the souls that are here, you have internalized. That's why we have bottle up, by the way, because of how you were raised in the environments and like everything, you, especially if you were raised by parents that were, you know, narcissistic, or narcissists are like, they always have to be like everything has to be about them. It has to center around them, what they want, what they like, what they don't like. Like, it's like very like, you know, they walk through life in this like very like selfish, bizarre bubble. But like what I said earlier about sneaky narcissists is the ones that they gaslight. Like they can be very loving and very kind and very sweet and all these things, but it's only on their terms. And other than that, they're very neglectful or cold, or like if ever the attention is being put onto someone else or you, they would quickly snag that away and make it about them. And that's what I mean. So there's a lot of victimhood that is running through these bloodlines that you have broken, like the curse to. So it's like, and these curses, for whatever reason, right, they're a big deal. I mean, not whatever reason, it's because of how powerful these bloodlines are. Because you were the one that was prophesied, right? And I mean, you can have other light workers in your family. I mean, there are a lot of star seeds where they awaken and then they start activating family members or friends or people close to them that they're around a lot, because we're activators. And some of you guys are super power activators. But you literally came in to break the curse of narcissism, of you know, dysfunctional, toxic, and ABUSIVE, mother-father relationships with children, because the children are the way of the future. And you're actually someone that is meant to, for a lot of you, obviously not all of you, for the women, you're meant to birth, and also for the masculines coming into union with the feminine, you're meant to birth these crystalline children into the new golden age now. And because of who you are and because of what you've broken, generational curse-wise, etc., it's a whole new level of parenting. It's the first time in your entire bloodline lineage that it's conscious parenting to a child. Like, that is huge. That's huge. And some of you guys are already parents, and you're already, because of the work and because of what you've broken, you're already, like, maybe you have like a teenager. So, you know, maybe you were not awake for, you know, a lot of your child's life, but now you are, you know, maybe over the last 5 years you have been, and you've been healing, and so much has changed, and like, you know what I mean? So it's really beautiful. So, you know, congratulations also to like those of you guys who are parents. and those of you guys who are birthing these beautiful crystalline rainbow children into the new age, 2026 to like 2033, what is that, like 7 years? That's what I see. Like over the next 7 years, it's like, remember like when the like war ended in like the 50s or whatever, the 40s, or and then, or the 50s, whatever, it was like the baby boom in the 50s. Okay, like my grandparents are boomers, like your grandparents are boomers, you know what I mean? Anyways, it's like the same thing, but it's like a new earth golden age, like baby boom of crystalline rainbow children. Many of them are already being born, but the big surge is over the next 7 years, is how I personally see it. And of course, yeah, like going forward. But what I mean is like the babies and children that are being birthed over this time, they are going to be like, they're going to be huge in the new earth protocols and leadership and things of that nature. Like they're going to come in completely awoken, like ready to get to work kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So anyways, it's really cool. Anywho, okay. Illusions, keeping things inside, not opening up, and deception. So for a lot of you guys, you have, like physically, it can affect us in so many ways in adulthood or through life. Like it could be like thyroid issues because of a blocked throat chakra, because you were raised around, people or in an environment where you had to hold everything inside. Maybe like there was never conversations or space held for you as a child where, you had serious conversations or emotional talks, or, hey, like just like daily check-ins, like, how are you today? How was school? How are you feeling? Oh, that's neat. How did that make you feel? Oh, how cool. Tell me something that felt like a victory today. Like you didn't have those kinds of just what you would think nurturing, just regular conversations a parent would have, right? And I do want to say that it doesn't matter how narcissistic or quote like horrible maybe your parent was, or traits they had that really messed you up, or whatever it is, right? I want to say this, and I'm not defending anyone, I'm not condoning anything either, but when we are healing and ascending and transcending this kind of stuff, one of the steps is forgiveness. And literally, like us as light workers, that's why we're here. That's like one of the biggest initiations, is loving the unlovable and forgiving the unforgivable. Like, I feel like this is how you feel. Like as an adult, you have felt like this like so much, but this is your inner child right here. Like this is even how you felt like in your room as a child, all alone, crying in your bed, or, but you didn't tell anyone. You held things in, you thought about things. You were so intellectually deep and intelligent because of who you are on a soul level. Like at a young age, you literally probably felt many times that you were the parent, even though you were the child, but like mentally, intelligent wise, like, spiritually, like you could see through all the distortion. Okay. I'm getting like, just hostile environments for an empath, like a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, a lot of negativity, a lot of, blaming, a lot of like all these things. Okay. For some of you guys, you didn't realize this stuff until later in life because it was more subtle. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that it was like less traumatizing or did less, created less trauma for you. For some of you guys, I'm seeing that, you probably had a really normal childhood, like, like you considered it like, oh, I had a really great childhood, for the most part, you know. But what I'm seeing something about like where, and this is also again a thing that's quite common. I see it all the time when I'm working with clients doing like healing work and past life regression and things like that. It's when and it's typically seen in mothers, because it's like the mother-child bond that I see a lot with it, like these around like mother wounds. But it could be a father too, right? But it's like when you were a baby, when you were a toddler, when you were little, like they poured love into you. Like it's very different how they were then to who they are maybe nowadays, okay? And it's literally because, but like who this part is for, you would have noticed this happening when you started like becoming an adult, or you know, a teenager. And basically like it's wounded parents where they have children, and because of their wounded inner child, they pour all that love into their children that they never got from their own parents. And in their mind, it's like, oh, I'm this great parent because I'm doing things differently. I'm showing my kids love. I'm saying I love you. Whereas my parents never did that or showed me that. But it's because when children are little, they are fully dependent on their parents. Like so it's like they are amazing parents for that, but at the same time, it's like trying to like siphon off the child, and like, you know, in a way that's like trying to fill a void or a wound in their inner child. So it's like I'm pouring all this love, and because it feels so good for my children to love me and need me and come to me for everything. I just love it. I love it. I've never felt love like this before. I've never received love like this before. You know, oh, it feels so good. I love my baby so much. But that all shifted when the child grew, you know, started going through puberty and started like, you know, hanging with their friends, and like basically where they got to that age where they didn't need their parent like that anymore. You know, they started getting their own personality and their own likes and dislikes, and, you know, they started, right? And then probably after they graduated high school or went off to college or whatever happened, that's when and it's not because it's just the gap had always been there. It just wasn't shown because of the dynamic throughout life. And that's what I mean by like you saw it when you got older kind of a thing. So let's keep going. But that's what I mean by like illusions and like, you know, deception. Like for some of you guys, this was like an illusion that you didn't even see, you know, until later in life. And for some of you guys, you saw it the whole time because it was very vicious or very in your face or whatever. For some of you guys, this speaks of like promiscuous energy. For some of you guys, maybe you grew up with a promiscuous mother, or there was always new men in the picture, in and out, or you grew up around, you know, your father. There was always new women in and out of your life, okay? So that could have you know, in your relationships, for some of you guys, I'm sorry, trigger warning, but it's just a known fact, especially with women, but men too. They seek love and affection through sexual encounters and partners. They're trying again to fill a void, and the way they do it is through sex. Okay, so all of your pent up wounding and you know, at one point in your life, maybe you started having sex at a very young age because of this stuff, or you know, you just through your younger years or 20s, you just went for it and had, you know, a whole bunch of sex, you know, maybe in college you went wild and crazy. That's not like far-fetched. Like that's a thing that most college students or kids those ages, that's what they do, right? But especially if their inner child is just completely broken inside because of abandonment or neglect or emotional neglect and emotional avoidance, or whatever it is. And now, I see like just very selfish energy coming through from the parental figures. That doesn't mean the parents are bad or evil or don't love you or weren't good parents in many, 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 many ways, and I also want to highlight the fact that they are wounded children within adult bodies. It literally was like, right, being raised by an adult child. And because of who you were on a spiritual soul level, you saw that. And I think for many of you guys throughout your whole life, even when you were like 6 years old, you could see that and you were aware that like, hey, I'm the kid, but like, it's like you had compassion for your parents because of that. Even at that age, you were that intelligent. Okay. Yeah. And then look, bottom of the deck, escape. It's escapism, avoidance, blocking, pushing away, and hiding. There it is. And it's like, what I'm seeing is like, if you were to like even attempt to try to talk to maybe your father or your mother about this stuff with childhood or how it made you feel, or there's like a meme out there that's amazing, and it says something like you want to know how healed you are or how much you've grown spiritually, then sit down with one of your children and let them tell you what their childhood was like and how you made them feel, good and bad, without getting triggered, without getting defensive, without jumping down their throat, because that's what how I mentioned, like, for a lot of you guys, anger and really bad temperaments run in your families. And so for a lot of you guys, you grew, you couldn't say anything because if you did, you were shut down or chastised, or you were told you were being, you were having an attitude, or you were being disrespectful, or you were being defiant, or, I'm the elder, respect your elders, like all this stuff. But a lot of you guys were defiant and rebellious because your elders had zero freaking respect for you. They showed you zero respect. When you were a child, and that's not for everyone, when you were a child, they poured love into you. But when you got older, and you stood up for yourself instead of just taking the punches or just sitting silent and, ruining your throat chakra and, creating dis-ease within your body, like, you had that inner call to get it out and to say something. But every time you did, you were forced to bottle it back up, because people who vibrate in that kind of consciousness, whether it's super narcissism or mild narcissism or secret narcissism or, just whatever, selfishness, just victimhood, they do not want to hear it. They have no problem dishing it, but they do not want to hear it. If you say anything, even if you say it nicely, from the heart, like I'm saying this from a place of love and from experience and, a lifetime of observation, they will shut you down. They will throw razors at you, because that's the last, it triggers everything that is distorted and unhealed within them. And that's what I'm seeing is you've avoided, or just like, cause you're like, I already know if I say something, or if I try to have like a heart-to-heart talk about this to clear the air or heal this, to bring more healing, I already know how it's gonna go. I already know. So you just avoid it through time, or you were avoiding it through time, keeping it secret. Look at that. Look at that. See the same photo, bottled up and secret. And it's not even from like, friends and lovers. This is from family. And then when you grow up like that, or you have to constantly be in that place, right? Obviously it puts you into survival, and, you're always on like the, kind of a thing, because you're used to getting attacked. Sometimes you get attacked for just no reason at all. They're in a bad mood and you walk in the room and they just, right? Okay. A love affair. So there could have been also growing up some kind of affair or cheating, betrayal, deception, where that was exposed to you at a very early age. And if that was the case for a lot of you guys, that may have been a thing that you experienced in your own relationships later in life, because it was, again, it was some kind of curse. Keeping things inside, though, see, on both cards, keeping things inside, not opening up illusions. Yeah, not opening up, illusions, keeping things inside. Okay. Because, like I just said, thank you, Spirit, for always backing me up. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Mother Mary. And we're going to get to them right now as we wrap this up. Because I've channeled all the things that basically needed to come through to let you know, first of all, what's being healed within you, because you're now, you're aware of all this stuff. So you have become consciously aware to the curses, to the patterns, to the behaviors, to every little thing. And so now you have the advantage of healing all that, which you've been working on, right? You know that's what I mean, these wounds. So when you can't speak your truth to your own parents or the people who raised you or family members, that's like a really big deal. That's a huge block for you and for them, but for you. Because you want to bring healing to it, and they want to keep escaping it and avoiding it. And you learned a long time ago when you were young that if you dare even try to speak your truth, where it's a truth about one of your parents, you will quickly be attacked by them. You will be attacked by your own parent. It will create a conflict where there's clashing, differences, incompatible. You may have a connection with one of your parents or both your parents where you guys always, like, quote, bump heads. But really what it is your one or both parents is in this energy, and they literally can't see it. Or maybe they kind of see it, or maybe they do see it. I don't think they do. I think that they kind of maybe do, but I don't think they do. For most of you guys, I think they're completely unaware. And you're completely aware. And so that makes it very difficult for you, because it's like you love them, you want to be around them, they're your family or your sibling or your parent or whoever, right? This is a reading about like people who raised you, but it could also be just like other adults that were always around and things like that. But anyways, there it is. You were programmed by your own parents to keep things inside and shut up. Because if you didn't, it would create a conflict. So you felt very unsafe to speak your truth, basically. You felt unsafe to express your feelings and emotions. And for a lot of you guys, you literally felt just unsafe in general growing up in your environment because of one reason or the next. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's get a couple of these. Judgment Day for your enemies. So, I mean, let's just say in general, that's a little like PS from Spirit. Because I think for a lot of you guys, you've broken a lot of dark curses. You know, for some of you guys, this is literal black magic or something that was put upon like your lineage or whatever a long time ago. You know, like I curse, like for real, like this could be like just behavioral conditioning and programs. But this could also be, and I feel that there's a lot of like Christian Catholic energy tied up with a lot of this too. Like, you know how people, not everyone, but like a lot of people will use religion but they use it in toxic ways. Like, oh, I can drink and be an alcoholic and do this and this and this as long as I go to confessional and confess my sins, you know? Or Christians is like, Jesus, you know, I was cleared of all my sins and I was saved and baptized, so, you know, and then they walk around like terrible to people in their own family and things like that, right? So, but anyways, it's judgment. It's what I'm receiving from that, honestly, look at that, a Jesus descendant. So Jesus is one of the ones infusing this entire transmission and channeling this reading with healing and activations of mother father wounds. Yeshua, I said Yeshua, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Melchizedek are the four pillars in this reading. They're standing at each direction, north, south, east, and west, and they're infusing from all four. You know what I mean? So anyways, but I just did like this last week. If you go down like 4 or 5 videos, you'll see it, but it's in the title, like you're a descendant of the bloodline of Jesus, of Yeshua, and Mary Magdalene. So you probably want to go check that out also if you haven't already. I know a lot of you guys have. And we do have a lot of new subscribers like who have joined. I think we've got like 500 new subscribers and counting like over the just past several days. So, but major confirmation for a lot of you guys again with that one. Okay, and then look at that. Yeah, twin flame mission. So, oh, and that's what I would thank you. That's what, and look at your dreams are coming true. Yeah, so basically like you were born into these bloodlines and into like the parental structures that you were born into, because you came in here to call judgment. You came in to call judgment on the curses, okay? And to set everyone free. And yeah, are you the black sheep? Are you the one that everyone takes swings at when they're upset or they need, you know, like, are you the one who's ruffling everyone's feathers? Are you the one who's not in alignment with like the way they think anymore? Are you the one who's felt lonely? Are you the one who, you know, has had to internalize all this and go through so many deaths of the ego and of your past selves? And are you the one that has had to completely learn to be your own mother and father? Yeah, you guys are the ones. Your dreams are coming true because your name holds power. You have the gift of courage, mi amors. That's why you are who you are and you birthed into these situations. Okay? And you did it to set your parents free as well as your grandparents, great-grandparents, etc., your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, your, you know what I mean? Ancient Egyptian ancestors. Okay, so I'm going to like end it here. I want to get just like to end. I want to see like we're already 42 minutes in. Divine Masters. So anyways, you guys, let me know how this resonates with you. And like, I just, you know, a big collective hug for everyone because I know you guys like, but this was coming through so strong like over this last week. And like I said, I have so many like messages that I need to like record. But this was like one of them that was just like, just like the messages I've done recently about Yeshua and the descendant bloodlines and the crucifixion. It's just coming through very strong. It's not like an epiphany moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is stuff that I've been tuning in with for years, right? In all honesty, like my whole life in some ways. But anyways, it's just for whatever reason right now, these messages are bubbling back up to share with the collective in bigger ways. So, all right, Divine Master message, please, as we end. Thank you. I think it's Hilarion. Yes, it is. Hilarion. Divine emergence. Be seen. Let the world know your gifts. Yeah, it's time to be seen. And then also, yeah, like step into your light, like your power, your gifts. Like it's time to like let the world see you for the real you, right? But because of a lot of this stuff that we talked about today, like you took on a lot of false identities to be in survival and protect yourself. And now I feel like Hilarion and like Yeshua and like Mother Mary. And Mother Mary, like she's the cosmic mother. She governs the cosmic heart, our rose heart, our true heart, our astral heart, our heart chakra. And so she literally is stepping forth in this moment and she's like, let me take care of you. Give it all to me. Talk to me about all the things you never could say to your own mother or your own father. You know, let me nurture you. And then also she brings forth quantum and miraculous healing within your heart space. And she's infusing this reading as well. But she literally wants to help you with all of this right now. Like, help take it from me, Mother Mary. But you have to literally call her in and be intentional and give her permission to do so. I just saw 4444. It's time to be seen. And for a lot of you guys, with all of this like being bottled up, kept inside, you need to like get it out somehow. So if you don't feel like safe, like literally, because again, like I said, it might still be like that where you're like, I already know if I like even try to like have a heart to heart, like I already know they're gonna get defensive, they're gonna start blame shifting, they're gonna try to twist it around on me, they're gonna play victim, they're gonna, you know. So if you already know that, which I know for a lot of you guys that's how it is, then just write it all out. Like, write a letter to them, just write everything out, or talk to Mother Mary. But writing is very effective for transmutation and release work. And what I like to do, because I am a fire alchemist, I use fire to manifest. I mean, water too, water as well. Through water and fire alchemy, I use it to heal, transmute, manifest. I use it to divine. I use it to speak with like Yeshua. Just the other day in the crucifixion reading, Yeshua was talking to us through the flames, and so was Mary Magdalene. That was really neat. But anyways, you know what I mean? So maybe write it out and then use the fire to burn it all away and just let it go like once and for all. Like, you've said your piece, you got it out. I'm choosing to release it. You know what I mean? Okay, and then Master Thoth, divine magic. That's who you are. And like, these powerful kinds of beings and guides, they've always been around you from the moment you incarnated into the womb. The teacher awakens, the student becomes the master. Yeah. There's some kind of, and that's another download I'm going to be doing, is there is a major like soul promotion and graduation here that you just went through. It's like a soul promotion, okay? And it's like a promotion in life in like all kinds of ways. So I'm going to be recording that also. All right, so let's go ahead and end this message with an Intuit Oracle. So anyways, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for commenting, you guys, for real. Like, here on YouTube, and pretty much that's how everywhere works now with the algorithms. So if you're a content creator or you're starting your own channel or whatever it is, this is good for you to know, but also like, this is a beautiful way for you to rack up good karma and good jujus with the universe. It's by helping and supporting other light workers by literally just liking their video or commenting. Commenting is a big one. And then also here on YouTube, there's this fun little new feature. It's absolutely free, but you can hype up people's videos. So thank you for those of you guys who are hyping. So the hype up thing is like in the comment, like you go to the little comment section, and then the comment box, you'll see like a few dots down on the side below. So you can slide, you know, so you slide left and then it'll say hype this video or whatever, and you click hype and you can choose how much you want to hype it. So thank you for those of you guys, because that's a new feature. And it's fun and it's helpful. So thank you, mi amors, for helping this beautiful reading get out to the souls that like really need this right now. Okay? Because a lot of this stuff, this inner conflict and conflict in your everyday lives and things that like you would never even think that has something to do with stuff you've held in from childhood or whatever. It's, you know what I mean? So thank you. Look at that. You can't make it up. Capricorn, King of Earth. It's the devil. It's literally karma, karmic bondage, generational trauma, addictions, codependencies, you know, unhappy marriages, like everything. There it is. Like, you can't make it up. Okay? And then look, bottom of the deck is, oh, look at that. The sun. Oh my God. And the swans. Twin flame soulmate. Past, like, it's true love. So it's time. That's why your dreams are coming true for you. You're good. Oh, and remember we did have twin flame mission. But anyways, and look at that. The Celtic knot. The Celtic knot is an eternal unbreakable bond. Okay. So that's another reading we got to do. But anyways, there it is. Happiness, larger than life. And then the rabbits, it's like new beginnings, prosperity. sex and procreation. So remember I spoke of the babies and fertility? There it is. So pregnancy, fertility, coming into divine union, like with your beloved. Okay, like it's time. Okay, but this is like your good karma. And look at that. Oh my God. Hello. You see, because you broke very dark curses in the lineages centered around love, giving and receiving love, and what that really means in a healthy, divinely aligned, healed kind of a way. Whether it's giving and it doesn't matter. It's giving and receiving love to any human that, you know. It's like your lineage didn't know how to do that. They didn't know how to do that. Like, giving and receiving love was transactional with the narcissist or with the selfish parent or the parent who plays victim. Everything's transactional, you know? Tit for tat, keeping score. It's very dysfunctional. Anyways, you broke all that. And then also like marriages and relationships within your bloodline. Like watching your parents keep score and, you know, be toxic and being, and you know what I mean? Okay. You broke all that. And so now you experience true divine love and bliss and, you know, an increase in wealth and, you know, you're breaking all kinds of curses. I also just did a reading this last week about like a money curse that was plaguing your family or generations for a long time. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful. Anyways, this is what I've got for you guys. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, you can find all my different like, you know, options, prices, services in the description box. Please, you guys, like I'm busy behind the scenes, right? And I email one-on-one with people. So please, please, please only email me when you're absolutely like ready to book. And I do not honor refunds. So please be sure that like when you book that you're really wanting to book. I mean, before you send payment over and all that, like make sure you really want the reading and, you know, or, you know, if you sign up for the mystery school, like make sure that's something, you know, I mean, the mystery school is like, that's just like, that's so incredible. And enrollment is open. So, we actually are meeting tomorrow, Sunday. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Zoom. It's once a week. And it's always recorded, but I started the mystery school back in the beginning of October, and it's called Circle of Light, and it's a mystery school honoring the Magdalene and Isis Hathor lineages for both masculine and feminines, and it's just been incredible. And so for the next few weeks, because so like when you sign up, you're gonna sign up for 4 weeks, for 4 Sundays of meeting and gathering. And the price for the 4 weeks is $111. So it's like $26 and some odd change for a week, right? Okay. Anyways, but every week we're tuning in. We do a prayer, we do rituals, we're learning things, we do healing, we do activations, we get to talk, we get to share, we cry, we laugh, we support each other, we lift each other up. Like, you know, if someone has a question, like, what do you think, guys? I don't know what I should do, you know, like we'll help each other, we'll weigh in. Like, it's literally like, this is the same things we did in ancient Mesopotamia and at mystery schools like St. Carmel and Egypt and, you know, in places of Rome or Italy and Greece, Delphi and like Atlantis. Okay. So we're doing the same thing we did then, communing, all kinds of stuff, but we're going to be working a lot. And tomorrow specifically, I'm going to be tuning in with our Akashic records. So I'm going to help you guys try to tune in and access your Akashic records and try to tune in with that and cultivate more of that connection there. Anyways, so I mean, that's the kind of stuff we do. So if you're like, I need this, I've been so lonely, I've been so isolated, I really just need like accountability. I need like people who have the same kind of spiritual connection and awareness. I need soul family. I need magic. I need laughter. I need a safe place to cry and share and talk about things that I have not been able to talk about my whole life or to anyone else or whatever it is. You know, we talk about twin flames, like everything. So we would love to have you. Just send me an email. Again, everything's in the description box, gypsycowgirltarot@gmail.com. And again, please, serious inquiries only, you guys. Think about it. You know, does this feel right for me? Do I feel called to this? You know, and of course you can like email me, like if you have a question about like one of my services, like what exactly is the Akashic record thing about or whatever, like that's different. You know, but what I mean is like when you're ready to book, like serious inquiries only, because that's why, okay? You know, and any of you guys who run your own business or entrepreneurs or spiritual entrepreneurs or content creators, and you guys understand this, especially if you're working like with clients or doing readings or healings or anything like that. You know, this is our livelihood. This is a professional business. I'm not entertainment. I'm not just some, you know, woo-woo, you know, psychic that, you know, like this is serious, and this is my work. And so I pour love into what I do with my clients, and I just, you know, ask for the same respect back. Because just recently, and I'm sure it has to do with Mercury retrograde as well, but there's just been a few things that have like come up with certain people and, you know, whatnot, and it's fine. But that's why for now on, I'm just making it very clear. You know, be sure you're ready to book, because I don't honor any refunds. And I've always operated like that. So anyways, so I thank you guys. Thank you so much. Cause I'm like, you know, it's not like you wouldn't go to like like people will email me and they're like, oh, like, you know, can you give me a discount? And I'm like, no, like you wouldn't go to your doctor and be like, hey doctor, you know, it's my first time here, doctor, can I get a discount? Or, you know, you wouldn't, and these kinds of things I've gotten a lot throughout the years, you know, or, you know, like, oh, I want to book with you. Oh yes, I'm so happy. I've been wanting to book with you for so long. I'm so excited. And I'm like, great. Yay. Like I'm so happy for you. Can't wait to connect, you know? And then they send forth their payment to book, and we get them scheduled, and then like 2 days later the email, oh, I've changed my mind, I want a refund. You know, I don't honor that anymore. I'm sorry. Like I don't honor that. And I will be adding that into, you know, my description, but also like through my business account with PayPal and everything, like just like no return on services if it's not like, you know what I mean? Like there's no real reason why. So I have to protect myself as well, because unfortunately sometimes people just don't respect and they don't care. And again, there's circumstances where I'm totally flexible and I totally understand, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, like no problem. But anyways, you guys catch my drift. So thank you for hearing me out. And what I'm actually getting about what I just said right now is there's a lot of you guys out there who are already tarot readers, or you already run your business. And this is actually a message for a lot of you guys too, or if you're about to, or you're going to start that, where, you know, it's just like anything else, where people will push your boundary. They will push your boundary, you know, and that's why, like, I started, like, when people email me, I tune in with their energy before anything, before responding, before anything. I tune in with the energy, and I really take a look, because I'm like, nope, they're, you know, it might sound mean, but I'm like, nope, but this is what I do professionally, so I can see it, and I'm never wrong. They are just, some people will just reach out just because they are bored, or they want to see if they can get a response from me or something. It's weird. It's really weird actually, but that happens a lot, like where people will be like, oh, I want a book, and then you never hear from them again. Or, you know, again, waste of my time and energy. Or, you know, like different things like that. But what I'm getting is like, that's actually going to help you, like what I just said. Okay. So maybe you need to put up some firmer boundaries with clients, or with business, or with yourself, or whatever it is. Maybe you need to readjust, you know, like your, or put like a disclaimer type thing. And like, you know, I don't know, but it's going to help. And, you know, I think that sometimes, you know, it's just like, oh, you're just a reader, like, you know, and it's like, no, like this is my professional career. And you wouldn't treat your doctor like that. You wouldn't treat your hairdresser like that, or your lawyer like that, or whatever, you know. So anyways, thank you. And for obviously those of you guys who are my clients and who I love you guys so much. Thank you. And, you know, I just, again, I'm done like just bottling things up, and like I try to be like the most like loving, compassionate, and deliver in a graceful way. But it's just sometimes things just need to be said. So, okay. I love you guys. For those of you guys who have enrolled for the mystery school, I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be sending out emails, the Zoom link, later tonight, like when I'm done with work. And I think that's it. So yay. Okay. Have a beautiful day, you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again soon with another reading.